Hello there, and welcome to the PR department. And today we're going to talk about Patreon. You see, Patreon has gotten themselves in a bit of hot water by announcing a new program that will affect the way that supporters now donate to their favorite content creators. Now, for those of you who do not know, Patreon is a site where you as a content consumer can support a content creator with a donation of your choosing. Now, on occasion, there will be tiers that you can be rewarded for donating a certain amount, but mostly it is there for you to just support a content creator that you just happen to enjoy. Now, at this current moment, it is very simple to support a content creator. You can donate $1, $2, and when those charges went through, it would show up as simply $1 or $2. But with the current changes that Patreon is now making, that is all subject to change. Because in the past, the transaction fees for that $1 or $2 were passed on to the content creator, and he would get about maybe 80% or 75% of the money that you would send him. But Patreon has decided that the content creator should get more of that money. So someone needs to pay the difference there. And so they have decided to pass that burden onto the consumer. And as you can imagine, the content consumers aren't exactly happy about being charged an extra fee just to support someone that they enjoy. You see, Patreon is pretty much thought of as a charity by the people who donate. And typically for charity, you aren't really taxed. You are essentially being charged a fee for you to give money away. And that is backwards on so many accounts. And I don't seem to be the only one thinking like this. Because if you were to look around the internet, you would see a myriad of complaints on this particular program. And while Patreon may have a legitimate excuse for doing this, to mostly everyone on the internet space, this seems to be Patreon creating an answer to a question that no one was asking. At this particular moment, no one seems to be having a problem with how Patreon has done business in the past. We accepted it for what it was. Even the patrons themselves weren't really complaining about Patreon's business model. But Patreon took it upon themselves to enact this particular program without asking the consumers about it, without asking the Patreons about it. And here we have the backlash from the consumer market. And this particular backlash seems to be affecting the content creators quite a bit as they take to Twitter and post up their lost revenue, showing that their consumers are saying that they are leaving Patreon because they do not agree with the current practices of the company. Now, Patreon is saying that this particular method that they wanted to enact was for the benefit of the content creators. But right now, in the short term, this doesn't seem to be the case. And it has had such a particular backlash that a Kickstarter has, started to bring up a different site to rival Patreon. Now, some of you might be asking, well, how is this so much of a problem? What's an extra 35 cents here or something there? Well, I myself happen to be a patron. I donate around $100 a month to different content creators. And I don't think it would affect me that much. Maybe my bill would jump up to $103, $104. But that is still an increase that I hadn't planned for. And let's not mention that if you are a patron of, let's say, 20 different content creators, and you are donating $1 to each of those content creators, well, you're going to be charged a fee 20 different times. So, through the miracle of Patreon, it seems like I, who is paying $100, will end up paying less fees than you, who are just paying $20. This is the brilliant decision behind the creators of Patreon. Now, if you are a patron and this upsets you, and you say to yourself that I wish to cancel my Patreon account, well, that's fine. You have every reason to. And trust me, most content creators are upset right along with you. Always remember that this is your money. You earned it. It is up to you to decide what to do with it. And if you feel that someone is underappreciating your effort to give them money, then you have every right to take it away. I am sure that a lot of patrons out there would feel guilty from taking that money away from their favorite content creators. But as I said before, there are a myriad of other ways to donate and support a content creator of your choosing. Patreon is just one of many ways to do so. Anyway, this has been the PR department, and I thank you for allowing me to take up some of your time.